Hi folks, we're taking a look at Long Island Audits. He goes to a correctional facility in Mississippi and almost gets arrested. By how, you ask? By not understanding the rules, refusing to leave if being told to leave by staff, making a scene to incite people to make comments to him that he wants, and mouthing off to the cops. So, let's see what happens.
Guys, Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. Today we're at the Mississippi Department of Corrections here in Marshall County. We are here today to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to film in public and publicly accessible areas, to promote transparency and accountability within our government, and to ensure that our public servants respect our rights and treat us with respect. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so let's take a look around the parking lot here. Again, we are not in any restricted areas. That would be behind that fence right there. Chief of Security.
Let me chime in here for a second. Because you don't think it's restricted because it's not behind a fence doesn't mean it's not restricted. There are restricted places in public and restricted places on properties. Just because they don't have a fence does not mean that. Like, that could be the staff parking lot. Just because you came in through the public side does not mean it's not restricted. So, let's go on, shall we?
Deputy Warden. Warden parking. Looks like a correctional officer right there is coming out to speak with us.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey ma'am, how are you?
Alright. Just trying to see what you got going on.
What I got going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just taking some pictures and video of the facility here.
Why? You work with somebody? I don't want that camera on me.
Well, why'd you come up to the camera then?
What do you mean? Because this is private property, sir.
It's not private property, this is public property.
I'm not gonna argue with him.
Yeah,
And he got people on recording and stuff. You might call the police up here. Because this is private property.
Can I get your name, ma'am?
No, sir.
Oh.
That's weird.
So you need to get off the property now.
This is
He
not
said it was public.
this is not private property, ma'am.
So you need to get off the property.
I'm trying to see
But
what
I'm
you got
engaging
going on. That's
I'm
weird.
engaging in a constitutionally protected activity. I'm
We're not giving you the right to record us, sir.
Again, I want to point something out here. Just because it requires funding from the government does not mean it's public property. By that logic, restricted Air Force bases, Army bases, naval bases, and etc. are public property. So that means you can go into the barracks and rifle through people's stuff. Or go into top secret research facilities that are government funded, because why? It's government funded, so it's public property. No. That jail is a private facility. Private facilities that are publicly funded do not require you to come there. Besides, I don't see many people holding protests and rallies for First Amendment rights at prisons. I don't see people holding many gun rallies there either. So let's move on, shall we?
You're in public, ma'am. And plus you came if you didn't want to be recorded, why would you come up to the camera?
I work here, sir. You don't work here. You just own this property for no apparent reason.
It's public property, ma'am.
Come get it locked up here. If you want to be up here, stay right.
I don't, is that a threat? Is that a threat, ma'am?
You're not afraid. Yeah, he's just trying to start something. Yeah.
I'm not. You're the one that came up to me. I'm just taking some pictures and video. That's all I'm doing.
You can see the whole sign and say private property when you come here.
It does. It's not private property. Who pays? Who owns it, ma'am? Who owns it, ma'am? Who owns it, ma'am? You have no authority outside of those gates. I'm not an inmate, okay? Treat me with some respect. I've heard a lot.
Shenanigans called. Actually, you're there on their property. When you go to a correctional facility, you are, even if you're not an inmate, required to follow their rules. They can tell you to leave, and if you refuse to leave, you go to jail. If they tell you you can't have a cell phone, you can't have your cell phone. Just because you're not an inmate does not mean they don't have authority over you on that property. So, again, shenanigans called on Long Island Audits.
Heard a lot about how you guys treat people on the inside. You're not gonna treat me like that. You're just a regular citizen.
He recording folks. Yeah, I need to write him up for that. That's assault.
Assault? It's assault to video record you? Just in case they try something crazy here in Mississippi, let's go over to the public easement. It's all the way down there. You want to check it out? All right. You got to learn a little respect, all right?
Respect goes both ways. To get respect, you have to give respect. That's something I was taught as a child. Apparently, you did not learn this Long Island audits. Why is that? I mean, if you're respectful to somebody, please, thank you, sir, ma'am, those kinds of things go a long way. Now, if you would have talked to them politely, maybe you wouldn't be in this situation.
It's assault to take your video. Here, I'm gonna give you a little bit of advice. If you don't want to be on camera, don't come up to the guy with the camera, okay? Seriously, that's all. Seriously. Excuse me? Go back to my country? Go back to my country, huh?
I do have to agree with Long Island audits on this part right here. That was totally out of line for their correctional officer to say. Even though she said, I'll go back to my country too. Well, I don't know what that means, but I will say this. Being of Hispanic descent, and have heard that many a time in my life, it does strike a chord with me, and I do find it to be offensive. She is wrong for saying that. He is wrong to escalate her to say such things. And again, it goes back to what I just said. Give respect, get respect. That goes both ways.
Wow. You need to go back to yours too? Interesting. That's very racist. That's very racist. Wow. This is my country, so you know. And I'm exercising a constitutional right, just so you know. This correctional officer just told me to go back to my country. And when I called her on it, she's like, oh, I need to go back to mine too. Go back inside. Can't believe this lady really told me to go back to my country. That's insane. All right, so we're just waiting for law enforcement to come now. That's insane. We're gonna stay on the public easement here. I've heard really, really bad things about this correctional facility, so definitely don't want to see the inside of it. So I'm going to make sure that I don't give them any reason to violate my constitutional rights. For everybody watching, just know your rights are strongest here on the public easement. See these utilities? Right here is where our rights are the strongest. So right here we have pulling up the Holly Springs Police. Right here. Car number 6. How are you today, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing well.
All right, what's going on?
Can I just get your name and badge number, please?
Officer Moss.
All right. And your
I will never understand the fascination of frauditors getting names and badge numbers. Is it like a trading card thing? I mean, if you get so many, do you get a cool little badge or a book to put them all in? To me, it just seems like you're wasting time instead of explaining what could have happened and been on your way. But again, you've got to keep your collection strong.
badge number? 7.
Okay, now what you do?
Oh, I'm an independent journalist. I'm just taking some pictures and video.
Okay.
Yeah. And this correctional officer over here began to say racially motivated statements towards me to go back to my country and that this is private property.
This is private property.
How is it private property?
This belongs to the state.
The state is a government entity, sir. Can I ask for a supervisor, please? Because if you think that this is private
Yeah,
property.
it's right here.
Yes. How you doing, sir?
Fine, that's it.
Can I get your name and badge number, please?
Bradley.
And
Fine.
Batch 5. How you doing? Sergeant Bradley?
Yeah.
Sergeant Bradley, nice to meet you. I was over here taking some pictures and video. I'm an independent journalist, just exercising my freedom of press right here. The correctional officers over here said this was private property. Again, any property that is funded by the government,
But out here is fine.
any property that's funded by the government would be public property. It's public property. If you have a right to access it, like if somebody was going to go visit somebody, they would have a right to walk on this property, right? If you have a right to access it, no one's going behind the fence or anything like that. And again, the correctional officers inside began to escalate the situation, telling me I should go back to my country. That
Shenanigans. I call shenanigans yet again. Long Island Audit. You escalated the situation to have them say those things. You escalated the situation by having them come out there by filming restricted vehicles. Transport vans are restricted. You were in the employee parking lot where you were looking at the parking signs for the deputy warden, and the chief of security there. Now, why is that a problem? I'll get into it shortly.
that because I was recording them, it would be considered assault. Just a bunch of craziness, really. Bunch of craziness. That never happened, ma'am. It's on camera.
You got a vehicle around?
Oh, yeah, I have a vehicle somewhere. I just walked over here, though.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Major Rogers. I'm the supervisor in charge.
Wow, and she said to go back to my country in front of you, Major.
He said, actually, my central operator saw him around our vans, videotaping our vans, which is a breach of security. Now we
Right.
don't know what he's done, if he's disabled our vans or has tampered with our vans or anything. So when I came out, I told him this was private property and he would have to leave. He began to argue and try to, get us to say things against, it's just private property. I advised him if he didn't leave, that we'd have to call the PD and have him taken out trespassing. Not only has he breached security with our vans, he's now breached security. He's got our tag numbers of our staff members that came in.
It's all public information.
Now, here's what I was talking about. You see, one of the most dangerous parts of deputies transporting prisoners is while they're on the road. You see, those vans can be identified. So, let's just say a gang member who is a high up in their organization commits a crime and is being held without bond in the jail, and he finds out what van he's going on. He has his people watch that van, or maybe they want to try to intimidate the guards. So what do? They go there and they photo their personal vehicles, their plate numbers, their VIN numbers, and they pay somebody off at a DMV or at a government office to get the info. That puts those guards and their families at danger. So, it is a serious security risk to have people go on to correctional facilities or prisons and videotape. It is a strong and very dangerous thing to do.
Everything. It is not public information.
When you're driving down the street,
This is a secured
do you have your license plate blocked or is it open? This is secured would be the fence, ma'am. I did not go by the fence.
Called my warden.
That's exactly where I am. No, the cars aren't private, sir. They're not private. You run tags all day. Are they private?
Tags all day.
But you're not an official.
It doesn't matter. They're public, ma'am. They're public.
Okay,
Wrong again. Tags or license plates belong to the state. They are issued by the state. Just because they give them to you to put on your car does not mean you own them. The state does. Say you lived in one state and you moved to another and you try to register your car there. You need new tags, so you have to send the old ones back to the state because the state owns that plate. And like the senior officer told them, the supervisor told him, he could film on the other side of the road. That facility is private. Just because the state pays for it doesn't mean it's open to the public. It's not a public forum. It is a correctional facility to hold people who are waiting to go to court for crimes or people who have committed crimes and are being punished. Why is it your deal to go there and harass people and take their information and put it online? How do you not know you're putting somebody's life in danger?
Our warden says if he doesn't leave our property, to have him locked up for trespassing.
Well, I'm not on your property, and plus this
Yes,
is
you
public
were
property.
On our property.
Yeah, but where am I now?
You were on our property. When
Okay,
we called the PD.
but unless you have no trespassing signs, ma'am, you need to learn the law.
Look at your
Unless,
video.
Sir, you're
unless,
free to leave.
unless I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay. I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay. Free to leave, free to stay.
Yes, they'll get it.
This is a public easement, sir. This is a public right of
We're
way.
actually standing on-
This is
Wrong.
a part of that property.
You're wrong. You see those
Sir,
electric-
you're free to leave.
you see those electric poles there, ma'am? Those are public utilities, meaning that they're on public property,
Sir.
ma'am.
I take things from the floor.
Why don't you tell your warden how your correctional officer told me to go back to my country? You're okay with that, right, Major? No, I have freedom of speech. And she told me, no, that's what if somebody told you something like that? Something insensitive to your skin color. Well, how would you feel about it? Right? You wouldn't appreciate it very much. Listen, I'm not a police officer. I don't have to carry that burden of being told. And if somebody told you something racially motivated, I'm sure you wouldn't take too kindly to it, Sergeant.
I tell you, we get told a lot of stuff, but we deal with it, so it's our job.
Well, I didn't do anything but just confront her about it. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just telling her that that's
Refusing to leave a place after they told you to leave is trespassing. That's illegal. We both know that.
it's crazy. And I will be talking to the warden about her, her actions here today. That's insane.
You got the right to do that. But I don't know the process of doing
Yeah, you see the difference. They wouldn't be able to put these telephone poles over here if it were private property, because these are what's called public utilities. So they would have to work on them, right? That means they're public utilities. That means that line right there, that's all public property, because they wouldn't be able to work on it unless.
it. You have to do that.
You too, Sergeant.
All right, okay.
You have a great day, Officer Moss.
All right, I'm good.
You too.
Please don't go on their ground.
I'm on publicly accessible property right now. You guys are a bunch of racists. Racists. I got freedom of speech. Please don't tell me what to say, officer. I don't want to argue with you, sir. Sir, I don't want to argue with you, but I have freedom of speech. Please. Please. I can say whatever I'd like, sir. This is why this is America, and this is a free country, and we have. I don't care, sir. Sir, I'm trying. Sir,
You want to get locked up for something. That's all we
If you're gonna lock me up for freedom of speech, go ahead.
You can leave. We
Do
asking
it.
You can leave.
Lock me up for freedom of speech. Please inform your officer that I have freedom of speech. I have freedom of speech. I could say way worse. They calling them racist, okay? But I'm choosing to be cordial. I could say way worse. I can call them what I really think. But I'm choosing not to use profanities. I'm calling them what they are. They're a bunch of racists.
No, I agree with the officer. You're doing that just to incite them. You're trying to bait them in. Only one person said one racist comment. And even then, it is slightly racist at that. But it still struck a nerve. And you know, for clicks and views, if you claim racism, you'll get it. You, sir, are there just to incite them so you can get a good video for YouTube and get that ad revenue. Now, you have every right to contact that warden by writing him a letter, emailing him, or calling to speak to him, which I'm fairly certain you could do. But no, you choose to stand on the side of the road and yell that everyone at that facility is racist. You don't know that. You're making broad, baseless accusations based on one slightly racist situation that may have happened.
You're gonna be held accountable for this. You know that, right? I'll be speaking to the warden. And I'm sure a whole bunch of other people will be too. Officer Moss over here trying to curtail my freedom of speech. Take care, Sergeant. You got.
Well, folks, I'm ending the video here. No arrests. No trespassing, what he could have been. He was rude and invaded the situation. Nobody violated his rights. That being said, I'll be linking my PayPal, Twitter, in the description boxes below. But above them, I'll be linking the St. Jude's donation link. St. Jude's does a lot for families. And I greatly appreciate if you guys can go to their link and make a monthly or one-time donation. It's your choice. Every little bit helps those families. It means a lot to the families and the children there. So, that being said, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.